In a world hungry for change, nonprofit impact matters more than ever. Yet, you're asked to do more with less. What if you could do more with more? That's the promise of Bloomerang, the giving platform built for purpose. Fundraising, CRM, and volunteer insights are integrated to reveal opportunity and generosity so you can make more connections with more funds raised for more impact. Now, that's more like it. Learn how you can do more with more at bloomerang.com. Welcome to the Purpose and Profit Club podcast for nonprofit leaders, mission-driven creatives, and social entrepreneurs. Get ready to stop dreaming and start doing. Here, ideas become action. We prioritize purpose and profit. You ready? Let's go. If you're feeling behind right now, just take a deep breath with me. Right? December isn't over. And in fact, the most generous days of the entire year are still ahead. I know that's wild. I know you might not believe me, but just stay with me for today's episode. Donors give again at year end for reasons that most fundraisers never even talk about. And today's episode will help you understand the psychology behind second gifts, even in the same month, crushing that myth of donor fatigue. We're going to talk about donor fatigue today and the 3 truths that explain why donors are most ready to give right now. So we'll cover donor momentum, identity and reciprocity, and staying in forward motion. So let's get into it. This episode is really, really timely because I just finished up a group coaching call for my program, the Purpose and Profit Club. And inside that group program, we had the topic today of like the last 2 weeks of December. What's the plan for those final 2 weeks of the year? And there was the strategy of the plan, there's the mindset of the plan, and then there's the audience to roll out the strategy. And you can have a really great strategy, but if you don't have a large enough audience or large enough segments of your audience, the strategy doesn't work. You can have a really great strategy, a really great audience, but if your mindset is in the gutter and you're like, listen, I don't want to bug anyone, I think that they're already really fatigued, then the strategy and the audience won't work. You with me? So with that, let's start with the 3 hidden reasons why donors give again, yes, again, before year end in these final few weeks. So reason number 1, we're going to talk about donor momentum. People act when they see progress. This is huge. So humans respond to this movement, this collective change, this like, if you've ever thought about something you were on the cusp of attending, like a dinner, an event, a march, a rally, anything, and you're like, I kind of want to go to that dinner, I kind of want to go to that thing, but then you noticed that 3 other friends were posting about it, or 2 other friends asked you if you were going. Suddenly what happens? It's that FOMO too, but it's that I don't want to miss out on it, but also that momentum of a movement. So donors act when they see something happening, not when everything is vague or static. So there's something called the Zeigarnik effect. Yes, the Zeigarnik effect actually tells our brain, and our brain notices unfinished goals. So that means that progress updates actually activate attention in our brain and action because donors see a loop they want to close. It doesn't feel finished. They didn't hit their goal. That's that Zeigarnik effect kicking in. And that's why a numerical and visual updates really do the heavy lifting here, a progress bar that moves. So all of our clients at year end, we want to see donation pages with a clear specific goal and that progress bar, that thermometer, right? How far away are you to that goal? That goal feels real and that number shifts. They can literally see before they give the $100 donation and after that thermometer go an inch up. So we see this all the time where a client goes from year-end fundraising with no clear goal to here is our target. Here's where we are. And donors immediately jump in. For the first time ever, I've had clients who, for the first time ever, hit their internal goal because they made it public. And because that donor momentum carried further. So imagine this. Imagine that you're thinking, yeah, we need to raise $50,000, but you've never actually put that public facing. It's not on your donation page. It's not on your emails. It's not on your social posts. There is no thermometer. It's time to have one. So that's step 1 is picking a goal that is public facing. Now, I suggest, and we have an entire philosophy inside my programs on goal setting. So I suggest picking a goal that is attainable, that doesn't feel like impossible for you. So that's the first thing. Then you want to make sure that you have a donation tool that can help you do the heavy lifting with showcasing that goal. And that's where that Zeigarnik effect really kicks in. And that's why I suggest that you pick a goal that feels achievable. Because if you're like some people and you picked a goal and you're like, we're not even close to it, we're not even 5% there, then you chose the wrong goal. So you want to pick a goal where you feel like your donors will rise to that occasion and it is achievable, and build momentum from there. Think about the psychology of this. It's hard for donors to jump on what they feel, they perceive as an impossibility, but they will absolutely rally around something already in motion. Think about a fundraiser that is 25% away from their goal. People will rally, even one that's 50% away from their goal. But if they land on a page and you have $100 donation and a goal of $100,000, what do you think that donor might be thinking? They're going to see that impossibility. So if you choose a 100K goal, make sure you're at least in the realm of achieving it, meaning that you have, number one, the strategy, number two, the audience. You have enough donors in your donor and ambassador network, and number three, the mindset to achieve that goal. Now, sometimes I hear, listen, people don't care about the numbers. I get it. And I've said some flavor of that before. Numbers alone won't help you achieve your year-end goal, but they are a piece. They're like part of the recipe of achieving it. So donors want to see traction. They also want to have that tangibility. How much are you trying to raise? Remember, if you don't have a goal, it's like you and me are going for a Sunday drive. We are just driving in the car without directions. We have no destination in sight, versus I pick you up and I'm taking you out to the best tacos in Atlanta. You and I both know exactly where we're going. So they want to have that number, that destination, that urgency built in. So that progress, those progress updates and goals help create a sense of the collective movement. And this is a big one. Shouldn't we wait until we're closer to share progress? Shouldn't we wait to talk about our goal and how close we are to our goal until we're like almost there? No, donors want to be part of that movement. They want to create the momentum with you. They don't want to just watch it happen. And so it does take guts to say, this is our big bold goal and let's go. And you can do that right now. If you didn't set a goal earlier in December, it is not too late to set a goal. People respond because they want to finish what they started. They respond because they want to join something that's already moving. That's why we see people give twice, even in the same month, even to the same year-end campaign. So let's dig into reason number two, identity and reciprocity. Donors want to end the year as their best selves. There's something really interesting that happens in December and January. So January is very much, we have been conditioned. It's our New Year's resolution. It's new year, new you. It's where you are suddenly going to do all of the things that make you the best version of yourself, right? So for a lot of people, that's like health and wellness. For some people, it might be more of style and beauty. It might be figuring out family dynamics. It might be reading more. Everybody has their own personal goals, right? But January has become something that we are like conditioned that January is that month. And I would argue December is the month of reciprocity. December is the month of social good. December is the month of giving. December is the month you want to end the year. Even for the people who are like 2025 sucked or however they feel about it, they still want to end the year on a positive note. And that's why it's a myth that donors don't want to be asked twice. The truth is, donors don't want to be asked vaguely, and donors don't want to hear you repeat yourself. So if you're going to ask again, please don't say you can make a difference 10 different times in December, right? When your campaign is clear, tangible, specific, donors give again because it aligns with their identity. People want to end the year living in their values, to see the change, to seed the change they want to see in the world or their community. They want to feel connected and purposeful. You've seen this. Like, think about your donors, your hundreds or your thousands of donors. That's why they give. Someone gives to a year-end appeal, and then maybe they give to your next ask because it's tied to a story that's so resonant to them, a tangible need. Monthly donors do this all the time. There are so many people that are nervous to ask their monthly donors to give a one-time, more significant gift at year end, or really at any point. Well, I don't want them to think that I should segment them out because they already give each month and I shouldn't ask them to give again. Wrong. Remember, they're giving monthly because they feel so connected to your cause. If they choose not to give, they won't give. But it is your job to invite them for that choice, to invite them in for the opportunity. And I find when the ask is campaign based and strong and brave and not generic, they make a gift. That identity drives generosity, and that gratitude activates reciprocity. And that reflection increases giving. So when donors feel connected, when they feel seen, when they feel appreciated and heard, they give again. And if they can't give, what do? They share it with a friend. They post it on their stories. They share it on Facebook. I see this time and time again. People want to see you win. Now, you could argue not everybody wants to see us win. Okay, sure. But you know who definitely wants to see you win? Your donors. Your donors. Think about the stock market. Think about a stock that you may have in investment account. I'm going to choose a stock. I'm going to choose Home Depot. Okay? Home Depot. If you have stock in Home Depot or you have stock in Apple, do you want to see it lose? Do you want to see it go down? I am actively investing in this stock. No, I want to see it go up. It is the same. So if I invest $1,000 in your nonprofit organization, I don't want to see you barely scrape by to your goal. I want to see you win. And that means that sometimes I'm going to invest more. I'm going to invest again. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to share it with a friend. I'm going to advocate for it. People want to see you win. Now, if you're thinking, won't it feel ungrateful to ask again? Will it be offensive to ask again if somebody has given already? Not if the ask is tailored. Think about that. How can I tailor this ask so that I know? So if I think about your group, your segment of monthly donors, I want to go ahead and identify and call out, hey, we know you give every single month. We know that you generously show up every single month because you care about our cause. Like, you're acknowledging what they're already doing. You're not talking to them as if they're a non-donor. So that's the first piece. And then you can literally say, here's the gap we're facing, or here is the opportunity we have, or here is how far away we are from our goal, or here's what's possible in 26. When you have that specificity, it doesn't feel offensive. It doesn't feel like the wrong tone. It actually is an opportunity to deepen their own impact. Remember, you're not pressuring, you're inviting. They don't have to give. That's their choice. You're inviting them to give. That's the nuance here. I want you to think for a moment about the January self, the aspirational self. Who is she? Who are they? What are they into? They're their best version of themselves. So again, they're the person who reads 30 books a year, who loses 20 pounds, who whatever that is, lifts more weights, like whatever gets their 10,000 steps in. I'm thinking of every possible January goal, right? That aspirational version. People will act in alignment with that aspirational deep part of themselves, right? And your year-end messaging simply gives them an opportunity to remember who they want to be, who they already are. That's our job. Look what you've already helped create. You've already helped 156 families this year. You've already spayed and neutered 433 cats this year. Like that matters, right? They've been a part of that. And maybe they have a deeper, bigger desire, and you can speak to that in your appeals. All right, reason number 3. This may be the most important of the 3. I don't know. This is something that I think is really, really rampant when you're feeling tired, exhausted, you're feeling the donor fatigue. You have a projection that your donors are getting fatigued, even though your donors haven't actually said that. And so if that's you, reason number 3 is donors give again when you don't go quiet. Internal fatigue makes nonprofits go quiet. Donors are not fatigued. Donors are not tired of you. Donors are actually living in their own rhythm. Y'all, they have not been on bated breath opening every single email, direct mail piece, text message you've sent them. We're up in our stuff. They're not up in our stuff, right? They're busy. Think about the December holidays. Think about the month of December. Here's my month of December: school programs, meetings, parties, work, family life, friends, holiday shopping, everything, right? That was just the first 10 things that came to mind, right? Doctor's appointments. Why are there so many doctor's appointments in December, right? There's so much happening. So not everybody has been reading and looking and consuming 100% of your content. I promise you, they are not nearly as fatigued with your organization as you think they are. And if you hear nothing from today's episode, I want you to lean in and hear this. December 31st, the last day of the year, brings in nearly 3 times as much revenue as Giving Tuesday. What? 3 times. Nearly 3 times as much revenue as Giving Tuesday. Think about how important we all prioritize Giving Tuesday, and we should, but it ain't over till it's over. So I really want you to think about those. For our clients, the last 3 days of the year are really, really important. And that stat is from Next After. So the final full week of the year brings in 32% of all online giving. That's not donor fatigue. That's donor momentum waiting for you and your leadership and your ask. Email does the heaviest lifting here. This is why I love email, because listen, I want you to be celebrating. I want you to have time off. I want you to be hanging out with your friends and family. I want you to be taking a day nap, right? So email does the heavy lifting. You can write these emails in advance. You can schedule them out. You could do a single 1-hour text-a-thon that will move mountains. Personal outreach from a board member just for an hour, a short text-a-thon or phone-a-thon that has meaningful, significant 5 and maybe even 6-figure impact. That staying in motion signals belief and confidence for you internally as an organization and for your donors to rise to the occasion. So remember, if you disappear, the donors forget. If you stay present, donors respond, and we have the data to back it up. And if you're like so many of my clients and so many people inside of my communities, you're not alone if you're thinking, but donors are getting so many emails. Christina, you're saying to send emails. I don't like emails. Emails, too many emails. They're getting emails from brands. This is blue ocean opportunity for you as a nonprofit. Nonprofits are not inundating consumers, AKA donors, with emails. You are a mission. You have so much more story and more heart that is a wallet opening than any other brand could. Your updates are meaningful in a completely different way than the West Elm 50% off sale. If you're thinking, I don't want to overwhelm people, you're not overwhelming people. Overwhelm comes from clutter. Overwhelm comes from saying the same thing again and again and again. Overwhelm comes from having multiple calls to action in a single email because you were too scared to just send out one email that says last chance to donate, last chance to give. A heartfelt year-end update with a real goal does not overwhelm. It connects. Maybe you're thinking, but people are tired in December. Christina, they're off work. They're not even checking your email. Lies, lies, lies. Think about Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, Saturday, Sunday. I'm trying to poke holes on holidays here and time off. Now, you may be different. You may be different. But if we're going to speak globally, I would say I certainly see a lot of family members on social media on those holidays and on the weekend. And I see them checking their email and I see them checking their WhatsApp and their Slack, right? So people are online and they will give if it feels good, if you remind them, if it is aligned, purposeful, and timely. And it's okay to ask again. You're not bothering them. You're not pestering them. That's not the energy that writes a high converting email or a high converting ask, okay? Your donors are adults with agency. If they don't want to give, they won't. They're tired of hearing from you, they'll unsubscribe. But when you sit on the sidelines and you don't do it because you've decided for everyone that they're tired and fatigued or have given as much as you can, you're taking away that agency, you're taking away that opportunity, and ultimately, you're taking away the impact from the people you serve. Don't do that. Remember that movement creates momentum and that silence breaks it. So let me give you 3 things to do next. Send a progress update. Send a progress update after Giving Tuesday in the last half of the year that is numerical, that is visual, that also has heart and story in it. Send a tailored second ask to anyone who gave in the last 60 days. I know that might feel hard, but you can do it. Now, you can do this to a segment. That would be more of an advanced technique that we would support you in the club to do. Maybe you want to segment out a certain audience. That's okay. But I really want to push you, especially with individual donors who are giving under $1,000 a year, send it again. Resend your year-end emails to non-openers. That's a really good one that you can do. Because remember, not everybody is opening and reading your emails. You don't need a new idea. You need follow through. You need commitment. You need courage for this. Remember the myth of donor fatigue. I've yet to meet the person. I still haven't met them. And I've attended a lot of conferences. I've been in a lot of meetings and groups and communities that are outside of our sector, that are in the for-profit sector. And when I tell them I work with nonprofits, I'm yet to meet the person that says, oh my God, I get so many emails from this nonprofit. All they do is ask me. I haven't met that person. I've met tons of people who say, I support a nonprofit and I don't hear from them much, or I give each year, but they don't really ask for more. Heard quite a few of those. So don't worry about donor fatigue. The truth is maybe there's some staff fatigue, some leadership fatigue, but that's why we're scheduling out a lot of what we've talked about today. Donors are not tired. Donors are generous. Donors are reflective. They want to see the world in the best possible way. They want to be the person who supports that vision. They give again when you stay connected and when you ask. So you're not behind. You're not too late. If you're starting at 0 or starting at step 90, you can still take action based on this episode today. The most generous days of the year are still ahead. I know that's wild. So stay in motion, stay visible. If you find yourself going through a spiral of negativity where you're like, oh, we're too far away from my goal, it's not going to happen. I just want you to go to bat for why it's possible. Why is it also possible? How is it also true that you will hit your goal? Your donors will follow the rhythm you set. It starts with you. Want to go deeper with donor psychology, digital fundraising, year-end, and Q1 growth? The place to do it is inside the Purpose and Profit Club, my group coaching program, and inside the Sprint Method, my program for solo shop founders and EDs. This is where you learn to lead with courage. This is where you learn to lead and see results that back up that leadership. You can go to splendidatl.com/start for details on both. I'll see you next time. Hey, high achiever. I know your sights are set on ambitious, world-changing goals. In the Purpose and Profit Club group coaching program, you can get the support, motivation, and strategy to accelerate your impact. I like to say it's where the inner work meets big impact and big funding. Go to splendidcourses.com/waitlist and you will be first to be notified when we open up doors, and you'll get special bonuses when you join our waitlist. See you inside.